you're confirming some of these Hamas leaders are now in Turkey?
I said I don't know the location of.
Okay, so you're not. Confirming their whereabouts.
I think she confirmed
Yes.
the whereabouts of them.
No, I'm
I
asking
am
you,
not.
like,
No, I very much am not. I can't speak to the location of specific members of Hamas.
Can you, if it is in fact true that you press countries to return or to extradite people indicted in U.S. courts, what about the woman in the Sbarro bombing in Israel years ago, who's been living free in Jordan now? There was long talk of her of efforts to get her extradited, and nothing has ever come of them. So why should these Hamas guys worry if
Matt, I'm going to admit you're speaking to a case that predates my tenure, that I have limited at best factual understanding of it, so I shouldn't speak to it. But when it comes to these terrorists who are members and leadership of a group who continue to hold Americans hostage, we do think it's appropriate that they face justice.
Just one more thing on that, Matt. Secretary has met with the Turkish foreign minister today. Was there a discussion about this particular issue with the Turkish foreign minister?
So he did meet with the Turkish foreign minister, Fidan, in Rio today on the sidelines of the G20. We'll have a readout coming later today. And I don't want to get into too much detail about what, of course, are private diplomatic conversations, but in all of these conversations with countries in the region, he makes clear, number one, that there should be no more business as usual with Hamas, and number two, that any country should use any influence it has with Hamas to secure the release of all the hostages, including the 7 American hostages.
Right, but those can be a little bit contradictory, don't you think, to use the, I mean, is there, I guess what I'm trying to ask is there any chance that Turkey might become the new mediator? Is that something the U.S. would want?
So the first question is one for Turkey to speak to, but when it comes to using influence with Hamas to secure the release of hostages, we would welcome any country playing that kind of positive role. That's what we want to see, but the important thing is that countries step up and use that influence and actually work to try to get these hostages out. And by the way, an important goal of getting the hostages out, not just for their own sake, but for countries who want to see an end to the war. That is one very clear way to end the war.
Yeah, there was an Israeli report, by the way, last week that head of Israel's domestic intelligence agency traveled to Turkey and met with Turkish intelligence head. What do you make of that meeting? Could that be in any way related to like Turkey emerging as a mediator?
I wouldn't want to speculate. That sounds like a question for those two governments to speak to.
Well, you guys are right in the middle of it, so it is a question for the United States.
I think when it comes to any potential meeting, we would, I would let those two governments speak to it, and certainly what it means in terms of the import of any such meeting. But when it comes to countries that have influence with Hamas, and certainly Turkey is a country that has had influence with Hamas, we want to see all of those countries use that influence to secure the release of all hostages, especially including the 7 Americans who continue to be held hostage.